and includes about 9,000 union members at the public university who are represented by Rutgers American Association of University Professors, American Federation of Teachers, Rutgers Adjunct Faculty Union, and AAUP Biomedical and Health Sciences of New Jersey. The unions represent full-time faculty, adjunct lecturers, and the faculty of the university's medical, dental, nursing, and public health schools. The workers have been negotiating with the school since July and are calling for changes including a 20% pay increase over 4 years for full-time professors, a minimum salary of $37,150 for graduate workers, guaranteed funding for teaching assistants and graduate students, an increase of new parents' release time to 14 weeks, and equal pay for equal work for adjunct instructors who they say should be paid and eligible for benefits equal to those given to non-tenure track faculty. This is, also, all of this is just this entire fight and their care for those that don't have the same status as many of the other professors do, and wanting them to be on the same track as they are in terms of the same benefits and pay as they are. It's really, this is just a very uplifting story to me, and I love seeing a fight like this and those that are in the fight fighting for those that are at the lowest rung within that fight. Really, just fantastic work here. And this is a great resource as well. So often when I'm covering these union fights, it can be hard to know the current status of what is going on in terms of the fight, what they're asking for, what has been, what the response has been from management. But here they have a whole page, bargaining status at a glance, where you can go down through each of their proposals and what the latest update is in terms of management. So in terms of pay, full-time staff asking for 5% salary increase, and then that, goes down a bit each year. And the management response is 3%. So you can go through each of them and know exactly what is going on with this fight. I often can't find resources like this when it comes to other fights, so it's really good to see that this is all very clear. And when we get to what Rutgers can afford, they can afford this. So here it is. This shared by Ryan, who shares this image here. Rutgers has the money to meet our demands. During the worst of the pandemic, the administration's unrestricted financial reserves increased by 40% to a record high. Why wasn't this money used to stop layoffs and budget cuts? So you can see here, 20 to 2021, 818.6 million. They can afford this, and they are simply not meeting these demands. And look, again, just quickly here, we're not talking about a lot. Like in this one case, a minimum salary of $37,000 for graduate workers. This is pennies for a place like Rutgers. Now, one graduate student, Michelle Ling, told the Times that she earns $30,000 per year and that many graduate students struggle to make ends meet. Quote, a lot of the grads that I know here are on food stamps, she told the newspaper. A lot of the grads I know have secret part-time jobs they don't report to the university because they have to. They have families. They have responsibilities. So we're talking about not much more than 30 grand a year here. And the struggle that this faculty is going through is clear. Now, here's another video, because I love these videos. So this one is shared by the AAUP. Check this one out.
So let's see if we can send them a message. So I'm going to say no contract, and you all are going to say no peace. And let's make sure that the folks in Winans Hall and the little fancy spot over there can hear us, okay? Let's see what we can do. No contract.
No peace.
No contract.
No peace.
No contract.
No peace.
No contract.
No peace.
Absolutely love it. I love it. Seeing workers stand up in solidarity with each other and having other unions stand alongside them. So this is also great. From Michael Reagan here, I'm hearing news from the union this morning that construction workers in New Brunswick campus are honoring our strike. They will stop work at Zimmerly until there is a resolution. So I guess there's a construction project going on there, and they are refusing to work until there's a resolution to this union fight. This is the power when workers unite. And I have to imagine that adds at least a little bit of extra pressure onto management to try and get something done here. I love it. I love it. This is just a great story. Now, Bernie Sanders here, of course, lending his support as always, saying, I stand in solidarity with the 9,000 faculty, union faculty, and graduate student workers on strike at Rutgers University. These workers deserve a good contract with fair pay and benefits now. And there's also Frank Pallone. Frank Pallone, who represents the district here for New Brunswick campus, saying, join today in solidarity with the union, Rutgers professors, faculty, and graduate students who are on strike and demonstrating on the New Brunswick campus. An agreement must be reached that provides fair pay, benefits, and job security. So I feel like a lot of this support from your standard Democrat was very non-existent pre-2016. And then, look, I'm not, of course, you know, Bernie Sanders, I'm going to give credit again. I have to. I'm not saying that he's the only reason that you're seeing support like this, but I think he opened a lane that allowed Democrats to realize, hey, not only is it the right thing to do to stand up with striking workers, it is also politically beneficial for them to do this. So it's a win-win for these politicians to stand up with these striking workers. So it's, you know, whether or not, I'm sure if you go through Pallone's history, there's probably some not so great votes when it comes to workers' rights at some point in his career. But again, I don't know. Maybe he's perfect record. I'm not going to pass judgment either way. I'm just saying I'm seeing a lot more politicians now willing to stand up with workers that are striking that I did not see as much of prior to 2016. Now, this a quote from Pallone here saying, the administration calls me all the time trying to get more grants and funding for more research, he said. But I always say, if that is going to be the case, we need to make sure that the graduate students who are doing the research, teaching the classes, they have a fair wage too. Great quote here. Who knows how true it is? But regardless, it's the right message, and it's good to see Pallone on the correct side of this. Last thing here. This was a message sent out from the Rutgers Union here yesterday saying, come out to the picket line today, response to President Holloway. So before I even get to their response to President Holloway, I do want to share that if you are a part of this, here are some links to join the picket. So I'm going to link to this. I link to all my sources always below the video. But you go here, there's a sign-up sheet, and it tells you, or it asks you, you know, what part of the, or what department are you in? Are you student? Are you faculty? So a whole bunch of questions, and the ability to join this fight. So check that out if you're a part of this. And also, if you're in the area, by the way, you know, maybe they want some pizza, some coffee, see if they need anything. It's also a great way to help, even if you are not a student or faculty. But their message here to President Holloway. So they write, late last night, you received an email from President Holloway that ended by admonishing us to be respectful to our students, and supportive of their academic progress. Let's be clear, our picket lines have been and will continue to be a peaceful, nonviolent expression of our determination to make a better Rutgers for our students and workers. Meanwhile, President Holloway's labor negotiators have spent almost a year resisting our proposals for a fair contract, including our calls for a freeze on Rutgers dorms and rental properties, and forgiveness of students' outstanding fines and fees that prevent them from getting transcripts and diplomas. Such punishments are not respectful to our students or us. Perhaps that is why so many undergraduates are joining us on the picket lines. This is wonderful to see. They're calling out of the BS from the president here. This is what management always tries to do, and often it's the management message that wins out when it comes to media framing around these strikes. So management will say, well, you're getting in the way of students being able to learn. Why isn't it the fault of you not getting a proper contract in place, not respecting your faculty? Not to mention the other crap they've been engaged in here. So it's and media often falls in line with whatever management's saying. So they'll be like, oh, this strike is happening, striking workers, disrupting classes, as opposed to management not finalizing a fair contract, disrupting classes. So as I say in so many of my videos, framing is everything. And often incorrect framing, or framing on the side of the powerful, is what has led to so many so many people being, anti-union or unaware of what is actually going on